So, I exactly don't know how to go about this video. All I'm gonna say is, it's not what I expected. Like, okay, I've been hearing from a lot of people in the comments that this is not a remake like I thought it was going to be. So, I coming into this episode, I was like, okay, so this is not a remake, but maybe an adaptation of another arc? As soon as the episode started, it basically just stated, oh yeah, remember Matsuri Bayashi? We were kind of retconning that. I don't know how to feel about that. Like, in my opinion, I like the ending of Matsuri Bayashi as it was. So, kind of doing this slight retcon of that, I have mixed feelings about it, though I still enjoyed this episode. It's just that I don't know exactly if I'm liking the direction this new anime is going. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna, go through this episode and talk about a few things that I noticed throughout. We're getting a whole new arc called Oni Damashi Hen. This does give some good hints as to where the direction of this is going, but at the same time, I'm a little bit about this direction. Okay, let's just go through this episode now. Like, I want to go through this episode now because there are things that I like and some things that I'm just a little on the fence on. So, let's get on to the beginning sequence, where Rika wakes up in the world of fragments, or as I like to call it, the Cave of Frozen Memories. Okay, I thought it was very interesting that they basically just began this episode with probably one of the locations that reveals basically the whole plot line, like the underlying plot line of the original series. Like, we start off episode 2 right there, right in the area where we start getting all the answers behind the mysteries of why June of 1983 keeps on repeating. We start right off here with Rika waking up there after she died, question mark? I'm not exactly for sure what exactly is going on here, but we began right off with the fragments, and I have two theories as to how this is gonna go, for which one of them is the one I'm fearing, while the other is the one that might actually be cool. The one that I'm fearing is Matsuri Bayashi happened, but it canceled out, and Rika reawoke in June of 1983 to have to redo everything after 100 years, because Rika makes the comment, were 100 years not enough? So that gives me an indication that they fucking retconned Matsuri Bayashi from that comment alone from Rika. Though my second theory is, which is actually the safer one, they're actually going through all the fragments of Matsuri Bayashi to connect them all together to get the true ending. Even though the Dean already depicted the true ending of Matsuri Bayashi was to collect all the fragments. Other than this scene, I actually like the rest of this episode. But with this scene, it just kind of confirms Matsuri Bayashi could have just been thrown out the window of what happened. And I don't know what to feel about that. Like, yes, this is a new direction, while at the same time, I'm not for sure how you can go about it, because I thought Matsuri Bayashi tied things up quite well. So, yeah, I don't know what exactly Ryukishi and Passione's thinking with this plotline, but I'm just gonna have to we're gonna have to keep on watching to see what happens. Okay, my comments about the opening is, yes, it does show a lot of, references to the original visual novels and the stuff that happens in them. I'm gonna say this now, I did not find the new opening that impressive. It's in the correct mood, but this is kind of, maybe I'm putting it up to the openings of the first season and the second season of the Dean adaptation, because those two, you remember them. This one, I don't know if I'm gonna remember. The song, maybe I'm gonna remember the song, but the visuals, yeah, they're really important to the series, but I don't think I'm gonna remember these that well. Yeah, I don't really see too much other than the running Rika scene. Okay, actually, the running Rika scene, that is memorable. So this opening is kind of memorable with the running Rika scene, because I don't know, but when I first saw this running cycle, yes, she is desperately running in this sequence, but I kind of chuckled. I'm kind of chuckling, especially the face she makes as she's running. Okay, there's points of this art style where I don't know if they're gonna show the despair of the characters that well with this art style because it kind of looks funny. It's not supposed to look funny. I don't know. It's this art style, I love it, but at the same time, it does look slightly uncanny to the point where it's kind of funny. So the next scene where Keiichi turns around on Rena, who's looking up the hatchet to him, that's basically a repeat to the events of Onikakushi of that scene, and not a lot of comments here. Hell yeah, they adapted the zombie tag club activity. I don't know about you all, but I was pretty excited to see this zombie tag reanimated. Like, I felt like the animation for this zombie tag was pretty well, even though it was kind of rushed. I still thought it was a really good, overview of what happened during the zombie tag game. Like, they got how Satsuko was being way too confident at first, for her to be the one to be it first, and for Keiichi to use the tactic that Satsuko was using, and by, using their classmates to try to trick the other players. And I absolutely loved it when they all climbed up on the roof to get to Keiichi. Like, that was funny. Like, I really liked how they were all crawling up on the roof like the gremlins they can be during the club activities. The next thing I wanted to talk about, I am skipping a few scenes because there were a few scenes that I'm just like, okay, that was pretty good looking, but I don't have too many comments on. But after those in-between scenes, I do have to comment on the unburying of Kenta-Kun scene. I thought that was cool. Like, they spent a lot of time into Keiichi getting the Colonel Sanders out of the garbage dump. They spent a lot of time into the sequence of Keiichi getting Kenta-Kun out, which makes me wonder, how important is this fucking Colonel Sanders statue in this new adaptation? Because I feel like they spent a lot of time of showcasing the scenes with Kenta-Kun, and oh my god, he is fucking large. He is a unit. And also, I thought it was absolutely hilarious how they put him in how they basically put him into a body bag to transport him. The next part was Keiichi and Rena at school talking about the Watanagashi Festival with Rika and Sadako. Probably the highlight of this scene, or the thing that I'm wanting to talk about, is the references that Keiichi made for all the stuff that were at Rena's house. I'm gonna state this now. They really made Rena into a big fan of statues and mailboxes. Oh, wait. Oh, let me retrace a few steps, actually. I forgot something. I forgot something in the scene where Keiichi was unburying Kenta-Kun. I forgot to mention something. Oh my god, I can't believe I almost forgot this. As he's swinging down the hatchet, he has memories of another timeline, aka Onikakushi. He remembers. They had an inference of Keiichi remembering. So this gets me to think, even though this first arc will end in tragedy, I'll get to that in a second, even though this first arc will probably end in tragedy, at least they're giving inferences that Keiichi is at least not as dense as he was in the question arc. At least, yeah, we get his indication. Like, an indication that Keiichi's like thinking, wait a second, I'm feeling deja vu. It's like I've been in this place before. So yeah, that's one thing I wanted to point out real quick. I actually like that. I actually like that. If this is not a remake, and if this is another future arc, it's perfect to have Keiichi remember. It's perfect to have Keiichi remember, and also, it gets me to thinking, the moments when Rena is silent, Rena is remembering. That might be a great theory. The sequences of Rena just staring in silence, that could be her remembering. Anyways, let's get back to the sequence of them walking home the day before Watanagashi, where they meet up with ancient-looking Tomitake. Like, come on, Passione. It feels like in this episode, you heard my complaints about Tomitake looking too old, and you made him 5 years older. He looks much older in this episode than the previous one. How did you make him look older? There's actually another indication of Keiichi possibly remembering something, in this sequence of when they meet up with Tomitake during the day, Keiichi pauses for a moment and he says, "Hey, Mion and Rena, is Tomitake more than a photographer?" And even though Mion makes it seem like Tomitake is there to be with Takano, well, the unmarried woman of the village, as she refers to her in this second episode, it gives an indication that Keiichi is slightly remembering what they learned of Tomitake and Matsurebayashi. This Keiichi seems to know a lot of stuff, despite being completely still a little bit, dense, like he was in Onikakushi. At least he's, remembering some things, especially the bat sequence. He remembered that, along with Tomitake is more than just a mere photographer. I do like this short little thing they did with Tomitake and Rika at the festival. As Tomitake is about to leave the group for, him to do something else during the ceremony, the Watanagashi ceremony, Rika stops Tomitake to just pat his head. That made my heart melt. I actually let out a "aww" as I saw that, because it just showcases how Rika knows what's about to happen to Tomitake. As it seems from this timeline alone, Rika's just observing everything that's going on. It's not like she's, trying to actively stop it right then. Because if she was trying to actively stop it, well, this whole situation with Tomitake probably would not have happened. I feel like she's just observing for this arc. I might be wrong, she might be trying to actively stop stuff and Tomitake didn't listen to her. But I also have a feeling of Rika might be just watching what's going on just to ensure she's still in the time loop. Actually, in my anger of the direction, well, not anger, in my uncertainty, not anger just yet. Not yet. I'm annoyed, but I'm not angry just yet. But in my annoyance of this new direction for the show, for which I'm annoyed right now, but I might love it later, I'm gonna say this now. I might love it later, but I'm annoyed by it now. I forgot to mention, we got to see Hanyuu! I did not want to mention Hanyuu right when I was talking about it in the beginning of the video. I did not want to mention Hanyuu because Hanyuu blurs my judgment of things. Hanyuu blurs my judgment of things because I love her so much. She's at a constant war with Satoko for my favorite character Higurashi, and I love seeing Hanyuu in this new art style. For new fans who are watching episode 2 for the first time, I kind of feel really bad for because they saw the biggest spoiler of Higurashi in the second episode of what everyone thought to be a remake at first. Before the ceremony, when they're all heading over to, where Rika is going to be performing, the sequence where Rena gets caught up in the crowd and Keiichi goes in to, save her. What the fuck is this propaganda, Passione? What propaganda are you showing us? I'm sorry, but you're showing propaganda for the wrong side. Beyond X Keiichi is the parry of Higurashi, and you can argue with me. I don't want to start any shipping wars. Let's not do shipping wars, everyone. Let's not do shipping wars. I was just making a joke about it. I actually find Rena and Keiichi to be cute, despite how I like, Mion and Keiichi more. Anyways, Keiichi saves Rena, the actual ceremony. The Watanagashi ceremony. I don't think I'm saying the correct name, and you can correct me down in the comments below. But, the ceremony sequence, I'm gonna admit, that was really well animated. I really loved the, how they actually showed the ceremony this time, instead of the glimpses we saw in Studio Did. We actually get to see the ceremony in the Passione's own interpretation of a Higurashi story after Matsurebayashi. I enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed the ceremony scene. I felt like that was actually really well animated. I'm gonna dare to say this. That was the best animated scene of the show as of right now. That was the best animated scene, and I'm really looking forward to more scenes in the future. If later scenes are going to be animated like that, I am really looking forward to the later episodes of this show, because from episode 2, if they're having a great scene like that one, I'm really looking forward to some of the ways they animate the upcoming scenes in the upcoming episodes. Though I have no idea. I have no idea where the story's gonna be fucking going with this. But that ceremony scene gave me a good indication of they're still gonna throw in all their cards for the animation. Though they might have needed to save some for, you know, the plot. Before I talk about the ending, for which I love the ending, by the way. The ending is a lot better than the opening. I'm gonna say this now. I'm gonna remember the ending a lot more than the opening of this show. But before the ending, we did get our first glimpse of Takano. All I'm gonna say is about our first look into Takano is, well, alright. It was alright. Definitely, it definitely gave her a villainous vibe. It definitely gave her a villainous vibe. Even though she does look like a beautiful woman to anyone who does not know of Higurashi. But as I saw this first glimpse at Takano, I'm just like, oh shit, here we go again. I'm gonna say this now. But Takano, she's an interesting character. Like, I have to say, she's actually one of the most interesting characters in the story. For her to, you know, do the stuff she does in some arcs, I can't stand behind. But I still have to say, she still has a pretty great story. She still has a pretty great story. And I do actually like her as a villain. I like her as a villain. Though she does some pretty horrible shit. And some shit that I'm never ever gonna forget. Cauliflower and broccoli. She trusted you, bitch. She trusted you. And what did you do? What did you do? Anyways, let's get on to the ending of this new anime. And I'm gonna say this now. Of Higurashi endings, this is the best one. Though, it's not hard to become the best ending of Higurashi. For endings, that was a pretty low bar. So, it absolutely blasted past the bar, beat the quality of the opening, and dare I say, this ending was better than the second opening. The first opening, that's unbeatable as of right now. But this ending, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 ending. The visuals, I think, were the best part. I think the visuals, that's something that I'm gonna remember. These fucking visuals, and definitely, these are wallpaper material. Like, any one of these images from this ending, you fucking put on your wallpaper. Like, that could be a person's phone or even computer background. Hell, I want some of these framed. I want some of these images framed because they were so they're so great looking. And just the, you know, the inferences of each and every one of the characters' backstories within the, you know, images shown. Like the one with Satoko, my heart split into two. Like, God, that definitely shows the you know, story of Satoko right then and there. The one with Mion and Shion shows their relationship, their complicated relationship in one image, involving the Sonozaki family and how the two see each other as twins. Great image. Rena's amazing. Rena's, I just applaud Passione for Rena's. Definitely memorable. And probably one of the best endings that have ever been done for Higurashi. Though, as I said before, the bar was already pretty low, so the one that I would personally choose as my background would be all of them in the classroom. That image was pretty good, though I also do like the Hanyuu and Rika image. Alright, to end this video, I am gonna say something funny right now to end this video. Okay, so Umineko episode 1 and some episodes 2 spoilers, warning ahead of time. I'm only on episode 2 of Umineko, so I'm speaking out of my ass. But maybe this entire new anime adaptation is the background to Burn Castile. Now, remember Burn Castile for the first tea party of Umineko? My video of me reacting to that scene has not been uploaded yet, but I do have a violent reaction when I first saw Burn Castile because, come fucking on. Burn Castile looks exactly like Rika. Maybe I'm gonna get to learn more about Burn Castile in the later episodes of Umineko, but from first image I saw of Burn Castile in the end of episode 1, I'm just like, fucking A, this is Rika. This is Rika. What happens if this new anime adaptation is the birth of Burn Castile? Rika becomes burn Castile throughout this show, and the show ends like this anime ends, episode 24 or 26. It ends with her going into the tea room, getting ready to watch the first episode of Umineko. If I'm correct with this, I have. Okay, thing is, I've not even touched the middle of Umineko. I've not even finished the question arcs, and I'm making a theory based off what I know of Umineko with Higurashi. So of course I don't know the full story of Burn Castile, so I'm speaking out of my ass right now. So yeah, I don't know exactly if my joke is going to be correct, but if it is, remind me to down that whole fucking bottle of champagne. Actually, I'm gonna let you all decide what bottle of champagne that I'm gonna chug down. Or I chug down an entire bottle of Burn Castile wine from the town of Burn Castile, Germany. I'll go to Burn Castile, Germany and get Burn Castile wine and down an entire Burn Castile wine in Germany. There we go, instead of champagne, I'm gonna down an entire bottle of Burn Castile wine in Burn Castile, Germany! If you like this video, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you somehow like this video enough to, keep on following me, and I'll see you all next time. Get ready for next week when I talk about episode 3, because with this direction, I'm absolutely psyched to see where the hell they're going with this. Like, yes, I'm a little bit uncertain about where they're going with this, but at the same time, I'm getting pretty excited to see where they're going. Though I could be disappointed, but I might also not be. So thank you everybody for watching this video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you somehow like this video, and I'll see you all next time. Mikhail!
Okay.